The sun was low in the sky, painting the strange alien land with soft orange light. The planet was quiet, except for the soft crunch of small stones underfoot. Jack, a young human explorer, walked carefully through the dusty ground. He had been sent here by the space agency to study this planet which no human had ever explored closely before. Jack wore a simple suit made to protect him from the alien atmosphere. His helmet reflected the pale sky above as he looked around.
Ow.
The land was dry and rocky, with tall red plants that looked like strange trees. The air smelled different, a mix of earth and something metallic. But Jack was used to new places. He loved exploring the unknown. As he walked, Jack thought about his mission. He was not looking for anything special, just samples of soil, rocks, and maybe some alien plants. But deep inside, he hoped to find something unique. Something that would change his life. After a few hours of walking, Jack stopped at a small hill. The ground here looked disturbed, like it had been moved by something big. He took out his tools and started digging carefully. His shovel hit the dry earth with a soft sound. He brushed the dirt away and found something hard. Curious, Jack dug more carefully. Soon he uncovered a strange object covered in dust and dirt. It was a helmet, but not like any human helmet. This one was old, made of metal that shone faintly in the sunlight. Strange symbols and shapes were carved all over it. The helmet looked ancient, like it had been here for thousands of years. Jack's heart beat faster. He picked up the helmet. Gently, it was heavier than he expected, but well made. As soon as his fingers touched it, the helmet gave a soft glow. The symbols on the surface started to shine with a blue light. Suddenly, Jack heard a noise behind him. He turned quickly, but saw nothing. The wind had moved the plants, making a soft rustle. He smiled to himself. Maybe it was just his imagination. But then, from the shadows between the tall red trees, figures started to emerge. They were tall and thin, with pale blue skin and large black eyes. Their clothes were simple but elegant, made from a soft fabric that shone slightly. Jack froze. The aliens looked at him carefully. He did not speak at first. One of them stepped forward slowly. He held a long staff with glowing symbols on top. The alien's eyes locked on the helmet in Jack's hands. A voice echoed in Jack's mind. It was soft but clear, as if someone was speaking inside his head. "You have found the helmet of the prophecy," it said. Jack was shocked. He looked at the alien, but no sound came from its mouth. The voice continued. "The one who holds the helmet will lead us to a new future." Jack did not know what to say. He looked at the glowing helmet and then back at the aliens. They were watching him closely, waiting. Suddenly, one alien raised its hand and made a signal. More aliens came out from the trees surrounding Jack. They were calm, but Jack could feel the weight of their gaze. The alien with the staff said again in Jack's mind, "Come with us. The council must see this." Jack felt a strange mix of fear and curiosity. He did not know if these aliens were friendly or not, but he knew one thing: this helmet was important to them. Maybe more important than anything he had ever found. Slowly, Jack put the helmet on his head. It fit perfectly, as if it was made for him. The blue light grew stronger. He felt a warmth spreading through his body. The aliens watched silently. Then the leader gestured for Jack to follow. Jack took a deep breath and started walking with them toward the distant shapes on the horizon as they moved through the strange alien forest. Jack noticed the silence around him. No birds, no animals, only the soft steps of the aliens and the sound of his own breathing. After some time, they reached a large city built from shining metal and glass. The buildings were tall and curved, with light flowing along their surfaces. It was like nothing Jack had ever seen. The aliens brought Jack to a large temple in the city's center. The temple's walls were covered with the same symbols as the helmet. The light inside was soft and glowing. Inside, many aliens waited. They were dressed in robes and looked serious. Jack felt all eyes on him. The leader spoke again in Jack's mind. "The prophecy has come true. The helmet bearer is here." Looked around, feeling the weight of their expectation. He did not understand the prophecy, but he knew his life had changed forever. A tall elder stepped forward. His skin was pale, almost white, and his eyes were deep black pools. He spoke slowly in Jack's mind. Long ago, our people lost hope. The prophecy told of one from the stars who would find the helmet and lead us to a new age. Jack tried to speak, but no words came. The aliens communicated with thoughts, not voices. It was strange, but Jack slowly got used to it. The elder continued, "You have the helmet. You are that one. You will lead us." Jack felt overwhelmed. He was just a simple explorer, not a leader of an alien race. He looked down at the glowing helmet and then at the faces watching him. Suddenly, the temple doors shook. A loud noise echoed from outside. The aliens tensed. The leader raised his staff. "Enemies approach," the elder said. "They do not want the prophecy to be fulfilled." Jack's heart pounded. He looked at the aliens around him. They were ready to fight, but Jack felt unsure. He did not know if he could help. The leader turned to Jack. "Will you stand with us?" Jack swallowed hard. He had no choice now. He nodded slowly. The temple doors burst open. Dark shapes moved in the shadows, coming closer. Jack tightened his grip on the helmet. He was ready to face whatever was coming. This was only the beginning. The temple was silent after the attack. The dark shapes that had tried to break in vanished as quickly as they had appeared, leaving only the heavy breathing of the aliens inside. Jack stood in the center, still wearing the glowing helmet. His heart was pounding fast. He did not know what was happening, but he felt the weight of every eye in the room. The elder, his pale skin and deep black eyes, stepped forward again. His voice spoke directly into Jack's mind, calm but powerful. "You have survived the first test. That is a sign." Jack tried to calm himself. He looked around the temple, at the walls covered with strange symbols that matched those on the helmet. The light inside the room pulsed softly, like a slow heartbeat. "You must understand why this helmet is so important," the elder said, his voice filling Jack's mind. The elder moved to a large wall and touched it gently. Suddenly, the symbols began to glow and shift. A holographic image appeared, a story told in light and color. It showed a world once full of life, but a terrible darkness came and destroyed much of it. The alien race had lost their way, scattered and broken. Then, the image showed a shining helmet resting on a stone pedestal, waiting for the chosen one. The prophecy said that only a leader from another world would find the helmet and bring hope back to their people. Jack watched, amazed but confused. "Why me?" he asked silently in his mind, but the answer did not come. The elder explained. "Our ancestors wrote the prophecy long ago. It spoke of a stranger not born of our soil who would come from the stars to carry the helmet. Only this person could unite the scattered tribes and defeat the darkness once again." Jack's fingers touched the glowing helmet. He wanted to believe the prophecy was true, but fear stayed in his heart. The elder noticed and said, "You do not have to believe yet, but you must prepare. The enemies who tried to enter the temple will not stop. They want to destroy the helmet and you." Jack's eyes narrowed. "Who are they? Why do they want to stop me?" The elder's eyes darkened. "They are the shadow straders from within our own people. They believe the prophecy is false and that power belongs to them alone. They fear change." A younger alien stepped forward, his face hard with anger. "We have fought many battles against the shadows. They hide in the dark places, waiting for the right moment to strike." Jack felt a chill. The temple suddenly seemed less safe. The elder looked at Jack with something like hope. "You must pass the test of the 3 trials. Only then will you gain the power to lead us and protect the helmet." Jack swallowed hard. "What are these trials?" The elder gestured, and the holographic wall changed again. 3 scenes appeared. First showed a great desert with fierce storms and deadly creatures. You must survive the Desert of Whispers, where many have been lost to the sands. The second scene was a mountain covered in strange glowing crystals. You must climb the crystal peak and find the Heart of Light. The third scene showed a dark forest filled with shadows that moved and whispered. You must enter the Forest of Echoes, where your deepest fears will come to life. Jack stared at the scenes. Each one looked more dangerous than the last. How will I do this? I am not like you, Jack thought. I am just a human. The elder smiled gently. That is why you were chosen. Your strength is not in your body. Alone, but in your mind and heart. That moment, the temple doors opened quietly. A small alien girl stepped inside. Her skin was pale with soft blue markings, and her eyes were bright with curiosity. She looked at Jack and smiled. Lyra, I will help you. Jack was surprised. Help me? How? Lyra's smile grew. I know the way through the trials. The paths are hidden and dangerous, but I can guide you. Jack felt a flicker of hope. Thank you. But before they could speak more, a sudden alarm echoed through the temple. Red lights flashed. The shadows are coming again, shouted one of the guards. Chaos filled the room. Aliens hurried to their positions, weapons glowing and ready. Jack looked at Lyra. We have to move. She nodded. Follow me. They ran through the winding halls of the temple, past ancient statues and glowing symbols. The sounds of battle echoed behind them. They reached a small chamber. Lyra pulled a hidden lever and a secret door opened. Go, she said urgently. This leads to the trial paths. Jack stepped inside, the glowing helmet lighting the dark tunnel. Lyra followed close behind. The first trial is the Desert of Whispers. It will test your courage and will. Jack took a deep breath and nodded. He knew this was only the beginning. As they moved deeper into the tunnel, Jack's mind raced. He had found a helmet by chance, but now he was part of an ancient prophecy. Aliens trusted him as their leader. Enemies wanted to kill him. Could they? Simple humans survive what lay ahead. The path grew colder and darker. Strange whispers filled the air, soft voices that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. Jack tightened his grip on the helmet. I will try. Lyra smiled gently. You are not alone. Together, they stepped into the unknown. The tunnel opened into a wide, endless desert. The air was dry and hot, and the sun burned fiercely from a cloudless sky, linked against the bright light. The ground was cracked and rough, with swirling dust storms far in the distance. Lyra stood beside him, her blue markings glowing softly. This is the Desert of Whispers, she said quietly, the first trial. Jack looked around nervously. What kind of trial should I expect? Lyra's eyes darkened. The desert is alive in its own way. It will test your courage, your mind, and your heart. Many have entered, but few have returned. Jack swallowed hard. I'm not sure I'm ready for this. You don't have to be perfect, Lyra said with a small smile. Just have to keep moving forward. With that, she turned and began walking into the desert, kicking up soft clouds of sand with each step. Jack followed, feeling the heat pressing down on him. As they walked, strange sounds filled the air. Soft voices, barely audible, whispered on the wind. Sometimes they sounded like warnings, other times like laughter. The voices seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. Jack's skin prickled. What are those voices? Lyra shook her head. The desert plays tricks. It uses your fears against you. You must not listen. Jack clenched his fists and focused on the path ahead. The sand shifted under his feet, and the sun grew hotter. Suddenly a shadow moved near the edge of his vision. Jack turned sharply, but nothing was there. Lyra stopped. Be ready, she warned. The desert's guardian will appear soon. Before Jack could ask what that meant, a loud roar echoed through the air. From behind a large dune, a huge creature stepped forward. It was unlike anything Jack had ever seen. The beast had a body covered in thick, shining scales that shimmered in the sun. Its eyes burned like fire, and sharp claws dug into the sand. Long tail whipped behind it, kicking up. Dust. Jack froze. The creature growled deeply and charged. Without thinking, Jack jumped aside just in time. The beast's claw sliced the air where he had been standing seconds before. Jack looked around for something to defend himself. He saw a sharp rock nearby and grabbed it. The creature came closer. Its fiery eyes locked on him. Jack felt fear rise, but also a strange calm inside. The helmet's glow warmed his head as if giving him strength. He threw the rock carefully, Aiming for the creature's glowing eyes, the rock hit its target, and the beast roared in pain. Taking the chance, Jack ran forward, dodging the creatures. Claws and teeth. He remembered what Lyra had said. This trial was not only about strength, but about courage and wit. Jack led the beast through the shifting sands, using quick movements and the landscape to his advantage. He climbed a steep dune and waited. The creature charged again, but Jack dodged and pushed a large rock down the slope. The rock hit the beast hard, causing it to stumble. The beast growled, then slowly stepped back. Its eyes softened.
Ouch.
Its head as if accepting Jack. Lyra smiled. You've passed the first part of the trial. The Guardian respects your courage. Jack sighed in relief. That was close. Lyra nodded. The desert still holds more challenges. We must move quickly. They continued walking, but the desert grew more dangerous. The whispers grew louder, and shadows moved at the edges of Jack's vision. Suddenly, the ground beneath Jack's feet cracked open. He fell through a hidden hole, landing hard on cold stone. Lyra gasped and rushed to the hole's edge. Jack, are you okay? Groaned, but got up. The hole led into a dark cavern filled with strange, glowing crystals. The air smelled cool and damp. Where am I? Jack asked. This is the desert's heart, Lyra said. A place few have seen. Jack felt the helmet's light grow stronger. The crystals reflected the glow, filling the cavern with color. But the cavern was not empty. From the shadows, strange figures began to appear. They looked like shadows themselves, dark, shifting shapes with glowing eyes. Jack's heart raced. The figures whispered his fears, showing memories of failure and loss. Jack saw visions of being alone, rejected, powerless. He stumbled back, but forced himself to stand tall. I am not afraid, he said firmly in his mind. The shadows laughed and closed in. Jack focused on the helmet's warmth. He felt a wave of calm and strength wash over him. He reached out his hand and a bright light burst from the helmet. The shadows screamed and faded away. Lyra's voice came softly in his mind. You have faced your fears and won. The trial is almost over. Jack smiled weakly. I hope so. They climbed out of the cavern into a valley surrounded by tall rocks. The sun was setting, painting the sky with red and purple. This is the end of the desert, Lyra said. But the trials are only beginning. Jack looked at the helmet and felt a new confidence growing inside him. I will do whatever it takes, he said, for you, for your people, and for myself. Lyra nodded. Good. Tomorrow, we begin the climb to Crystal Peak. Jack knew the next trial would be harder, but for the first time he felt ready, as they camped under the alien stars. Jack looked up at the sky and wondered what the future held. The helmet's glow was steady on his head. It was a symbol of hope, a sign that even a simple human could become a leader among the stars. The morning sun broke over the horizon, casting long shadows across the jagged valley where Jack and Lyra had camped. The air was cool, but the wind whispered of the challenges ahead. Crystal Peak loomed tall and sharp, its glowing facets sparkling. Like stars even in daylight, Jack tightened the straps on his gear and adjusted the ancient helmet on his head. The warmth it gave was comforting, but he knew this journey would test more than just his courage. It would test his mind, his heart, and his ability to trust others. Lyra stood beside him, her eyes scanning the rocky slopes. We must reach the summit before nightfall, she said softly. Light. The heart of light waits there. Jack nodded, his gaze fixed on the shimmering mountain. I'm ready. As they began the steep climb, Jack noticed something new, a group of aliens watching them from a distance. They were warriors, dressed in armor, decorated with sharp edges and bright colors. Their faces were serious, some showing curiosity, others suspicion. Lyra whispered, Those are the mountain clans. They have not yet accepted the prophecy, nor the helmet bearer. Jack frowned. If they don't accept me, how can I lead? Lyra looked at him thoughtfully. You must earn their respect. Show them you are not just a stranger, but someone who cares for their future. Jack swallowed. The weight of leadership was heavier than he imagined. As they moved closer, one of the warriors stepped forward. He was tall and muscular, with silver hair and a deep scar across his cheek. His eyes were sharp and cold. "I am Corin," the warrior said, his voice carrying over the wind. "Why should we follow a human? What do you know of our ways?" Jack met Corin's gaze without fear. "I know I am different, but I carry the helmet, a sign from your ancestors." "I want to help your people, not control them," Corin sneered. "Many have claimed the prophecy only to bring destruction. Why should you be any different?" Before Jack could answer, a sudden rumble shook the mountain. Rocks tumbled from above, crashing near their feet. The ground cracked beneath them. Lyra shouted, "An avalanche." "Move!" The warriors sprang into action, pulling everyone to safety. Jack's heart pounded as he realized the mountain itself was a dangerous enemy. Amid the chaos, Corin lost his footing and tumbled down the slope. Without thinking, Jack rushed after him, dodging falling rocks. He caught Corin just before he fell into a deep crevasse. The warrior looked up, surprised and breathless. "You saved me," Corin said quietly. Jack helped him to his feet. "We need to watch each other if we want to survive." Corin nodded slowly. "Perhaps you are not just talk." As they returned to the group, the mood had shifted. The warrior saw Jack's courage and strength. Slowly, they began to lower their weapons. One of the clan elders approached, an old alien with bright eyes and a calm voice. The helmet bearer showed honor in action. Perhaps the prophecy has meaning. Jack bowed respectfully. "I do not seek power. I seek peace and a future for your people." The elder smiled. "Then you have allies among us." For the first time, Jack felt hope blooming in his chest. But as they rested that night near a small fire, whispers of doubt and jealousy stirred among some warriors. Not everyone accepted Jack's leadership. In the shadows, a figure watched with cold eyes. It was a member of the Shadows, the traitors, who opposed the prophecy. The figure's lips curled into a cruel smile. "If the helmet bearer thinks he can unite us, he is mistaken." Back with Jack, Lyra sat quietly. "The mountain clans will follow if you prove yourself in the trials ahead. But beware, the shadows grow stronger." Jack looked up at the stars, feeling the weight of their hidden eyes. The next day, as they prepared to continue their journey, Corin approached Jack. "I underestimated you," he said gruffly. "If you survive the next trial, I will stand with you." Jack nodded. "Then we face it together." Their path led them deeper into the mountain, toward a cave entrance shimmering with light, the gateway to the heart of light. Inside, the air was cool and filled with a soft hum. Crystals covered the walls, casting rainbows across the rocky floor. Jack felt the helmet pulse warmly. The heart of light was near, but the cave was not empty. As they advanced, strange creatures appeared, guardians. Made of living crystal, their bodies sharp and shining. The guardians moved quickly, attacking with precise strikes. Jack dodged and fought, relying on his instincts and the helmet's strange power. Corin and the warriors joined the battle, their weapons clashing against the crystal beasts. Despite their strength, the guardians seemed endless, Jack realized. Brute force would not win this fight. He remembered Lyra's words, this trial would test more than strength. Focusing his mind, Jack reached out with the helmet's power. A beam of light shot from the helmet, striking the nearest guardian, instead of breaking. The creature stopped and tilted its head, as if listening. Jack lowered his hand, then touched the guardian gently. The creature's sharp edges softened, and it stepped aside. One by one, Jack repeated this, calming the guardians rather than destroying them. The warriors watched in amazement. Corin's face softened, respect growing at the cave's center. A large crystal pulsed with light, the heart of light. Jack approached and placed his hand on it. A rush of warmth and energy flowed through him. Visions flashed before his eyes of the past, present, and possible futures. He saw his place among these aliens and felt their hopes and fears. When the vision ended, Jack looked at his new allies. "We have taken a step forward," he said quietly. "But the final trial awaits." The elder's voice echoed in his mind. "The forest of echoes will test your soul. Be prepared." Jack knew the path would grow harder, But he was no longer alone. Together with his new allies, he would face whatever came next. The air inside the temple was heavy with tension. Jack had returned from the Crystal Peak trial with new respect from many of the alien clans. His courage and kindness had won allies, but shadows still lurked in the corners of their society. The prophecy promised hope, but not everyone believed in it or in him. Jack sat quietly in the council chamber, surrounded by the leaders of the allied clans. The glowing helmet rested on a pedestal before him, its soft blue light pulsing gently. Lyra stood close, her eyes sharp and watchful. We have gained much, Jack thought. But trust is fragile here. The elder with pale skin and deep black eyes spoke slowly into Jack's mind. The Forest of Echoes awaits. It will reveal your true self and test your spirit. Only then will you be ready to lead fully. Jack nodded, feeling the weight of their expectations. Suddenly, the heavy doors to the chamber opened with a loud creak. A trusted advisor, Zoran, entered. He was a tall alien with silver hair and calm eyes, someone Jack had come to respect. Zoran, Jack greeted him. Your counsel has helped us greatly, Zoran smiled gently. It is my honor to serve. But beneath that calm smile, Zoran's eyes held something else, something hidden. As the council meeting ended, Jack and Lyra prepared to leave. Zoran stayed behind, watching them with a cold calculation. That night, Jack was restless. The helmet's warmth comforted him, but a strange feeling nagged at his mind. Something was wrong. Before dawn, a soft knock came at his door. Jack opened it, to find Zoran standing there, alone. I have a message for you, Zoran whispered, glancing around nervously. Jack stepped outside with him. What is it? Zoran lowered his voice. Not everyone in the council supports the prophecy. Some see you as a threat to their power. Jack's heart sank. I know. Zoran's gaze hardened. They plan to stop you. Soon who? Jack asked sharply. Zoran shook his head. I cannot say. But you must be careful. Before Jack could respond, a sudden noise erupted nearby, a group of guards rushing toward them. Traitor, one shouted, pointing at Zoran. Jack's eyes widened in shock. Zoran's face twisted into a cruel smile. You trusted me, helmet bearer, but I served the shadows. The guards seized Zoran, but he laughed coldly. You will fail, human. The prophecy will die with you. Jack stood frozen as the realization hit him. His trusted advisor had betrayed him. Lyra grabbed Jack's arm. We must leave now. They ran through the temple halls, alarms ringing behind them. Shadows moved quickly, blocking their path. Jack's mind raced. How had Zoran known so much? Who else was against them? They reached a hidden passage. Lyra pulled a lever, opening a secret door. Go, she urged. I will hold them off. Jack hesitated. I can't leave you. Lyra shook her head. You are the hope. You must survive. With a final glance, Jack slipped into the tunnel. The door closed behind him. The passage was dark and narrow. Jack's heart pounded as he moved forward, the helmet's glow lighting his way. Outside, Lyra faced the attackers alone, her small frame hiding fierce determination. Jack emerged into an open field beneath a twilight sky. He was free but alone. He took a deep breath, feeling the helmet's warmth steady his nerves. I cannot let them win, he thought. I must fight, not just for myself, but for all who believe. As Jack looked toward the distant forest, he knew the final trial awaited the Forest of Echoes. But first, he needed allies and answers. The betrayal had shaken him, but it had also awakened a new resolve. He would not fail. The forest was thick with shadows, the trees towering high like ancient guardians. Jack stepped carefully, the helmet's soft blue glow lighting the narrow path before him. Every step felt heavier as he thought about what was coming, the final trial and the battle that could decide the fate of the alien people. Beside him, Lyra moved silently. Her eyes scanned the darkness, alert for danger. The Forest of Echoes will test more than your strength, she said quietly. It will test your heart and mind. Jack nodded. I am ready. But deep inside, a knot of fear twisted in his stomach. The betrayal still burned fresh in his mind. He knew the shadows were close. They wanted to end him. As they walked, strange sounds surrounded them, whispers, laughter, and distant cries that seemed to come from the trees themselves. The forest felt alive, watching them suddenly. From the shadows, dark figures emerged, warriors loyal to the shadows. Their eyes burned with hatred, and their weapons glowed with dark energy. Jack raised his hands, feeling the helmet pulse on his head. A blue light spread, creating a shield around him and Lyra. The shadow warriors attacked, but Jack's allies were not alone. From the trees, the mountain clans and other alien warriors joined the fight. Their weapons clashed, lighting up the dark forest with bursts of color. Jack fought beside them, feeling the power of the helmet and the strength of his new friends. But the battle was fierce. The shadows were skilled and determined. As the fight raged, Jack saw Corin struggling against several enemies. Without hesitation, Jack rushed to help, using the helmet's power to push back the attackers. Corin looked surprised, but grateful. "You fight well, helmet bearer," Jack smiled briefly. "We fight together." But then a sudden shadow fell over the battlefield. From the trees, a massive creature stepped forward, a beast twisted by dark magic. With eyes glowing red and teeth sharp as knives, the warriors froze, fear gripping their hearts. Jack stepped forward, feeling the helmet's warmth surge. The beast roared and charged. Jack dodged its claws and struck with a beam of light from the helmet. The creature howled, but kept coming. The battle seemed hopeless. Then, Lyra shouted, "The prophecy says the helmet holds a secret power." Jack closed his eyes and focused. Reaching deep inside the helmet's energy, a brilliant light exploded from the helmet. Filling the forest with warmth and hope, the dark beast screamed and shrank. Losing its power until it vanished completely, the shadow warriors faltered. Their strength broken, Jack's allies pushed forward, driving the shadows back. When the last enemy fled, silence returned to the forest. Jack looked around at his tired but victorious friends. "We won," Corin said, breathing hard. Jack nodded. "This victory is ours, but the future is still uncertain." The elder's voice echoed in Jack's mind. "You have passed the final trial. You are the leader the prophecy promised." Jack felt a mixture of relief and responsibility. As dawn broke, the alien clans gathered in the forest clearing. Jack stood before them, the glowing helmet shining brightly. The elder stepped forward and said, "From this day, you are our leader, the helmet bearer who brings light to our people." Jack bowed his head, humbled, but as the clans cheered, Jack's eyes lifted to the distant sky. Far beyond the forest, a star pulsed with strange energy, a new challenge waiting in the darkness. Jack knew his journey was only beginning. The alien clans gathered beneath the open sky, their faces lit by the soft glow of the helmet resting on Jack's head. The once divided tribes now stood united, their hopes pinned on the human who had proven himself through trials and battle. Jack looked out at the crowd, feeling the weight of their trust and the burden of the prophecy. The elder with pale skin stepped forward. His voice echoed gently in Jack's mind. "Today marks the start of a new era. The helmet bearer leads us into the future, but the prophecy holds more than just hope. It speaks of trials yet to come." Jack nodded, understanding that his role was far from over. The journey that had begun with a simple discovery had changed everything, not just for him, but for an entire civilization. As the celebrations began, Jack walked among the clans, shaking hands and sharing smiles. Corin, now a loyal ally, clapped him on the shoulder. "You earned this, helmet bearer. We stand with you." Lyra stayed close, her eyes bright with determination. "You saved us all, but the stars whisper of danger still." Jack looked up at the sky. The distant star he had seen during the final battle pulsed faintly, a silent warning. He knew that beyond the victories and newfound friendships, the galaxy held greater challenges. That night, Jack sat alone on a hill overlooking the city. The helmet's light was steady, casting soft shadows. Memories of his journey played through his mind: the desert, the mountain, the forest, the betrayal, the battle. He thought about the people who had doubted him, and those who had chosen to believe. A soft sound broke his thoughts. Lyra approached quietly, sitting beside him. "Do you ever wonder why you?" she asked. "Why the prophecy chose a human?" Jack smiled faintly. "Maybe it was never about where I came from. Maybe it's about what I choose to do." Lyra nodded. "The aliens here have many strengths, but they needed something new. It's a different kind of leader." Jack looked up at the stars. "I don't know what lies ahead, but I will face it." Suddenly, the helmet's glow shifted, growing brighter. Jack's heart quickened. From the sky, a beam of light shot down. Touching the helmet and filling the air with energy, Jack stood, feeling a surge of power unlike before. The prophecy had one last secret, a gift to prepare him for the future. The clans watched in awe as the helmet shimmered, signaling a bond not just to their world, but to the universe beyond. The elder's voice came again, calm and sure. "The helmet bearer will guide us, not only through our darkness, but through the stars." Jack smiled with quiet strength. "Then let us be ready." As the dawn broke over the alien world, the clans united in hope and purpose. Jack's discovery had sparked a new beginning, one filled with promise, challenge, and endless possibilities. The distant star pulsed once more, a reminder that the journey was far from over. But for now, the future was bright.